If your skincare routine feels like it stopped working during menopause, you're not alone, and this video is for you. One of the biggest mistakes women make during menopause is believing that there's a perfect skincare routine, and there isn't. Menopausal skin doesn't show up the same for everyone. For one person, it might suddenly feel dry, light, and almost papery. For another person, their skin becomes incredibly sensitive and reacts to products they've been using for many years. So the natural response is to go out and buy more products, to buy something to fix the way your skin is reacting. You buy another cleanser, another serum, and before you know it, you've got a shelf full of products, hoping that one of them will finally give you the answer that you've been looking for. I don't think responding by asking for another product is the right way to go, because Ayurveda completely changed the way I feel about skin. It taught me to stop asking, what's the best skincare routine for menopause, and instead ask, what is my skin asking for today? And that one question, it shifts everything. As an Ayurvedic practitioner and co-founder of Magical Medicine, I've worked with many women through midlife, and your skin, it's always responding. It's responding to your hormones, to your thoughts, to the different seasons, to stress, to sleep. Everything leaves a fingerprint on your skin. And once you begin to understand these changes, caring for your skin becomes so much simpler. In this video, I'm going to show you how I read my own skin and how Ayurveda explains these changes as we go through menopause. If you've noticed your skin changing during menopause, you're certainly not alone. One of the most common things I hear is, I've been using the same products for years, but suddenly they don't seem to suit my skin anymore. Or everything feels dry. My skin has become so much more sensitive. Why am I getting spots after 50? Your skin hasn't become more difficult. It's just responding to changes, and that's exactly what healthy skin is designed to do. From a Western medical perspective, we know that estrogen declines. The skin gradually produces less of its own natural oil called sebum. And over time, it also loses collagen. And that combination can leave your skin feeling drier, thinner, and less resilient, which helps explain why products that you've always used may not be giving you the same results. But what I love about Ayurveda is that it gives us another way of understanding these changes, because it doesn't see menopause as something that's gone wrong. It sees it as a completely natural stage of life. As we move through menopause, the qualities of Vata dosha, which are air and space, they naturally become more prominent. Don't worry, you don't need to understand Ayurveda or memorize the doshas to benefit from this, but the important thing is simply recognizing that your skin is showing you dryness, tightness, skin that suddenly feels much more delicate, fine lines that seem to be more noticeable or appear overnight. And these are all qualities we associate with Vata, which becomes more predominant as we transition through menopause. And Ayurveda isn't saying there's something wrong with your skin. It's saying your skin is reflecting what's happening on the inside of your body. And once you understand that, you can stop fighting your skin and you begin understanding and supporting it instead. Skin is not working in isolation. It's responding to your environment, and it's responding to what's happening inside. So you think about your skin in January. Now think about your skin in August. Most of us wouldn't expect our skin to be exactly the same, because as we move from autumn into winter, the air becomes colder and drier, and many women notice that their skin becomes tighter and thirstier. And in the summertime, heat can leave the skin feeling so much more reactive and flushed. Then spring arrives, and the skin may feel puffier or a little more congested, because your skin is constantly adapting to the world around it. So why would one skincare routine work perfectly every day of the year? Well, it wouldn't, because it's not only responding to the seasons, it's also responding to your stress levels, to your sleep patterns, to how well you're nourishing your body. If our skin is responding all the time, the next question becomes, what is it responding to? Yes, it's responding to hormones. Yes, it's responding to the seasons, but it's also responding to the way we're living. Think about the difference between a week where you slept really well, you've eaten really nourishing, healthy food, and you've been outside in nature a lot, taken some time for yourself, and compare that to a week where you've been rushing around, you're super stressed, you're in like survival mode, and you've really been grabbing food on the go. There's a huge difference in the way that you've been living your life during those 2 weeks. And if you're honest, your skin is showing you that story well before you've realised how exhausted you are. It may be more sensitive, more dehydrated, more reactive, or simply losing its healthy glow. So Ayurveda isn't just looking at your skin in isolation, it's asking what else is happening, because your skin is connected to every system in the body. It's responding to your biology. And I think that's one of the biggest mind shifts. Instead of silencing every problem, it encourages us to become curious about what our body may be asking for, not with fear and not with judgment, just with curiosity. And that shift alone can change the relationship that we have with our skin. For me, ritual is so important. Skincare actually begins before the first drop of oil ever touches my face. It begins with slowing down. Before I reach for a product, I simply take a moment to notice how my skin feels today. Does it need more nourishment? Does it need more calming? How is my nervous system? That's why I don't believe in following exactly the same routine every single day. I believe in learning how to read the skin, because once you can do that, you become an expert. And it's not about the latest trend, and it's not about the latest viral product. It's about just checking in with yourself. What does that actually look like in practice? My skincare routine isn't exactly the same every single day. The principles stay the same, but the way I care for my skin changes depending on what it's showing me that day. Instead of following a rigid routine, I try to work with my skin rather than against it. So let me show you what that might look like. For example, in the morning, the first thing I do isn't reach for a product. I simply check in with my skin. Does it feel tight? Does it feel dry? Is it sensitive? Maybe it's a little congested, maybe it's a little oily. If my skin feels balanced, I often won't use a cleanser in the morning. I'll rinse my face with lukewarm water and use a soft cloth and then pat dry. I think we've been so conditioned to believe that our skin needs to be deeply cleansed every single day, twice a day. But for many women during menopause, especially if your skin is becoming drier, the aim is not to strip the sebum that's been created overnight. I like to apply my facial oil when my skin is slightly damp. I often spritz it with rose water and then I apply the facial oil, and I'll just use a few drops and then I'll see how that feels when it soaks in, and if I need more then I add more. I warm a few drops between my palms, and this is where the ritual really comes in, because I take a moment to really breathe in the essence of the botanicals. And then I carefully apply the facial oil, but I'm using it and I'm touching the key energy centers on my face, which are activating those energy centers and encouraging prana and life force to flow through my skin, encouraging circulation and helping the product penetrate much more deeply. I use upward strokes and I spend a little more time around the areas where I know I hold tension, like jaws, temples, eyebrows. And in Ayurveda, these points are known as mama points. They're thought of as the key points on the body where energy or prana is more accessible. A facial massage over these points has been used in Ayurvedic practice for thousands of years, and it's something I now include in my own routine every day. If you'd like to learn the massage, we've included a guided mama tutorial with our products. And then of course I always finish with SPF. For me, that's non-negotiable. The evening routine is slightly different. This is when I properly cleanse my skin and remove the day, so to speak. And this probably is the biggest difference between an Ayurvedic approach and a conventional skincare routine. Most skincare brands teach you to find one routine and stick to it. Ayurveda teaches you to understand your skin well enough that you can adapt your routine as your skin changes. And one of the reasons Maria and I created our herbal cleansing powder the way we did is because although the herbs always stay the same, the way you mix the powder changes. So if my skin feels particularly dry or depleted, I might mix it with a little bit of facial oil or a nourishing floral water. If it's feeling warmer or more reactive, I may choose something cooling like aloe vera. If it feels a little heavier or more congested, I might choose witch hazel or something more clarifying to mix with the powder. The herbs stay exactly the same. I simply change what I mix them with depending on my skin's needs that day. So it's totally personalised. And for me, that's what makes Ayurveda so different. It teaches you to stop asking, what's the best skincare routine? And instead ask, what does my skin need today? Because our skin is living tissue. It's constantly adapting. It's responding to our hormones, the seasons, our health, our lifestyle, and simply getting older. And when you begin looking at your skin through this lens, skincare becomes so much simpler. So if you found this video useful and you'd like to learn to understand your skin more from an Ayurvedic perspective, we've created a free energetic skin profile quiz. I'll put the link below. It will help you identify the qualities that are showing up in your skin right now and give you some simple guidance on where to begin. And if you've enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to subscribe